Big Billy was left feeling rather silly. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling. Triple H was at one final ultimate rib to Bill Goldberg. Well, we don't need to debate it anymore about the length of time and why and whatever, because the man himself, dun 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 dun, 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 Big Bill is here to spill it all. How many words can you rhyme with Bill? I've done pretty well, to be fair. But let's get into it. And I quote, I guess that was the ultimate rib. I'm not saying it was done on purpose by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying it wasn't prepared for on purpose. That's all. They wouldn't do that to The Undertaker, right? I don't think so. They're not going to do it to John Cena. Cena's going around the world doing his retirement thing. Mine was just a World Heavyweight Championship match, to be honest with you. I had a World Championship matches all the time. That doesn't do anything for me. I mean, it does, but make it different than just an angle at least. At the end, do something, say something. I don't know. It just felt a little bit, for me. That's all. End of quote. Right, there is a lot more to get into, which we'll get into in a second. But he's right. He's had world title matches. Literally, look at his return since 2016. I'm not saying every single match has been for the world title or a title of, main roster. I mean, there's been Universal, there's been WWE, obviously just single matches against Brock Lesnar. He obviously defeated The Fiend for a title. I think what was some of the matches against Bobby Lashley for the title and some weren't. I can't actually cast my mind that far back, but he's right. It didn't feel like a special angle because what they did was it was a match, but at least if you give him the time at the end to address his career and address what had happened, then it would have felt more special. And did we hear him for like 10, 15 seconds? Yeah, we did, but that's not enough, man. You can't get what you want across. How do you have like a 3-decade career? Right, well hell, it's a career that's went into 4 decades, the 2020s, the 2010s, the 2000s, the 90s. How do you have a career that goes that long and expect the guy to wrap it up in like 20 seconds? It can't happen, man. And he should have been given more time. But I think the key thing is here, he's saying it's like the ultimate rib. Ultimate Warrior, brother. He's saying it wasn't done on purpose, but he's saying it wasn't prepared for on purpose, which I think is a key thing to look at. So basically he's saying they didn't purposely sabotage him, but they didn't prepare for anything on purpose. Again, we've debated this a lot over the last couple of days. With Rollins' injury, for me, there's just no excuse. There really, really fucking ain't no excuse for what actually happened with Goldberg. Is he right to a degree? It's like, were they like Triple H is like, we know with the ad situation on what was it on NBC, we know we're going to be rushed for time at the end, but hopefully he can get his point across in the seconds that he'll have to cut a promo. Maybe that's what he thought. But as he says they wouldn't do it to Taker, I agree, they're not going to do it to Cena. I do agree with that. But the problem is, Big Match John's last scheduled appearance is for a Saturday night's main event. And as much as I like Goldberg, and I think what they've done to him at the Saturday night's main event is fucking disgusting, by the way. If they do that to Big Match John Cena, I will be fucking lit. See if I'm watching Saturday night main event, I think it's the 15th of December, right? You know what I mean? It's snowing outside. Big John, he's hanging up the boots, he's hanging up the hat. See Nation. I did for the kids, see Nation. See if he hangs up all his gear and he's about to cut a promo and it comes across the bottom, executive producers Lee Fitton and Triple H, I will be fucking livid. I mean, I was pretty angry about the whole Goldberg thing as well, but obviously Cena, I prefer Cena. And there's people out there bashing, Goldberg, why does Goldberg think he's in the same category as Undertaker and John Cena? Right, for me personally, I prefer those two, Cena and Taker, but people are fucking selling Bill Goldberg a hell of a lot short, and it's the same people that would try and pretend the likes of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are on like a John Cena and Undertaker level, but what Bill Goldberg ain't. I mean, Bill Goldberg at the height of the Monday Night Wars, folks, literally like went. I mean, how many matches did he go undefeated? It was like 150 or something, right? You don't do that if you're not over. The guy beat Hollywood Hulk Hogan in '98. Some big ass moments, some big ass matches. did it in the WWE as well for a short period of time, and he's came back and he's sold tickets. He's honestly, that match against Brock at Survivor Series is a massive shocking moment. The match at Mania was good. Hell, the stare down between Taker, Brock, and Goldberg in the build up to the 2017 Rumble made me think, like, oh, maybe wrestling can be good again at some points. I know it's 8 years ago, but that's 3 fucking stars. Like, to me, Bill Goldberg, when Goldberg takes on Taker, I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, Bill Goldberg doesn't feel like an equal for Taker. Taker feels better than him, a million times better than him. No, I viewed that match as big Bill Goldberg taking on the Phenom. I didn't look at it as like, oh, there's a main eventer here against a mid-carder. Goldberg is a massive draw. WCW, one of WCW's top guys. See, Goldberg versus Austin would have been an absolute money match. You see, if they could have produced that match in like late 98, 99 at some point, that would have broke the TV ratings, damn it, you know, and people selling Goldberg short, it does piss me off, because they just don't fucking understand it. I mean, is he John Cena or Undertaker? No, but his name has fucking name value. There's no disputing that. But we'll move on to the other comments he said regarding his last year. He said, and I quote, I would have loved them to announce it in January and had a build up to it and do something like that I thought was maybe worthy of my career. Let's just say they chose to do it within 3 weeks' notice. It is what it is. It's part of the package. It's part of the meal you get dealt. And I would be remiss in thinking I thought the meal would be different, but shame on me for thinking it would be different. Let's just say I'm pissed off at the way it went. I put so much into it. I don't feel the effort was replicated to put a stamp on what I accomplished. I'm not going to say I'm not ecstatic about the opportunity that I got. I was a WCW guy. I think it could have been a little bit different. That's all. I'm happy with my performance in the setting, but could it have been better? Absolutely. It can always be better. End of quote. There was also a comment I seen for Goldberg where he says like there's something to do with contract runs out in 3 weeks and he's going to sounds like he's going to bury WWE. And yeah, he's got a point. He was a WCW guy. A lot of WCW guys didn't get the treatment that he got. I mean, you look at like a Scott Steiner, for example. Fucking hell, buried left, right, and centre. And plenty of others. DDP. I mean, do we want to spend this vid talking about WCW? But he does deserve better, man. I mean, if he wanted to come back in January, right, and have like a proper like 7-month build towards a retirement match, then fucking go ahead. I think the true reason why they might not have wanted to do it, folks, is because of Cena. In terms of giving him 7 months. But I don't think Bill Goldberg retiring the same year takes away from Cena's last year, because it's not like they're both retiring on the same show. Cena was always set for December. Goldberg was always set for July. I believe having John Cena and Goldberg wrestle, if Goldberg was wrestling throughout this year and you knew it was going to be, you know, he is wrestling his last couple of months, it would have felt much better. You could have got a big Goldberg match at Mania. You could have got a big Goldberg match at the Rumble. All these other events, it doesn't make sense to me. Could have got Cena fucking Goldberg at some point. So I totally understand why he's completely pissed. And the 3 weeks notice thing as well. I mean, if you want to say January's too long, even though they all bum lick each other about long-term booking, I mean, 3 week fucking build for the career of Goldberg, that sits wrong with me, man. But he does point out that it's his fault, because why did he think that the meal I was going to get dealt was going to be different than... Why, it was shame on me, buddy, for thinking it would be any different, and I can't understand what he's coming from, but it just screams of a TKO thing and Triple H. They don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. Say what you want about McMahon right in here. Don't think Kurt Angle's career went out exactly the way it should have, right? And that it is not saying McMahon got it right every time, but if you look at like Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, by God, there's two guys that can't complain about how their career ended in WWE, regardless of what they did in the years after it. But anyway, that's it for Big Goldberg. He got fucking screwed, and I can't wait to see what happens in a couple of weeks if he calls out Triple H and TKO. So obviously there's some form of contract that's going to run out there. But it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, fair play to Bill. You know, wrestling at the age of 58. Put on a pretty decent match against Gunther for his limitations at that age. And he is a megastar. There is no disputing it, man. Guy was absolutely massive in the 90s, and he is one of the bigger stars that wrestling has created. He's not the biggest, he's not one of, he's not going to be like the top 2 or 3 stars of all time, but Bill Goldberg, in terms of star power, folks, I mean, he is easily, for me, in the top 20. And I'd have to write a list to actually be like, oh, who's he not? But Goldberg, to me, bigger star than Booker T, bigger star than Scott Steiner, and I love those two guys. But to me, Bill Goldberg is I mean, Goldberg came in WWE and fucking beat The Rock. I mean, he beat Hollywood Rock. He steamrolled people in WWE. He get put over a lot more than other people. And, I mean, there's probably, I feel like this is Bret Hart's burner account. It's just bashing the guy for no fucking reason, but it is what it is. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Be back soon. Till next time. Peace.